This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 365 of the Stable Scoop Radio Show, The Belgian and the Ring. Please support our sponsors as they make this show possible.
Our sponsors this week are Uncle Jimmy's and EasySignsOnline.com. Road to the Horse competitor Adam Tarpley starts a monthly training tip on getting outside the ring, and we do a breed highlight on one of the most popular draft breeds, the Belgian. Plus, our Tack and Habit pick of the week is an app called Equitrail. Listen in.
Welcome to the Stable Scoop, with weekly shows delivered right to you. With Helena and Glenn the Geek, live from the stable, it's every week. They bring you the news through hail or high water, while using their tails as their own fly swatters. So sit on down and laugh till you poop, cause it's time again for Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop. Stable Scoop.
This is Glenn the Geek.
And this is Helena B. And you're listening to the Stable Scoop Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network.
I get to see you in 3 days.
I know. It's been a long time.
That's what, probably since, were you in January at Ada? No, I don't think you were. It was just me, I think.
January? It was just you.
Yeah, Jennifer didn't even come, I don't believe.
That's right.
Yep. So it was just me. Yeah, it's been a year since we saw you last.
No, we didn't even I didn't go last August.
Oh, it's been more than a year then.
The last time I went to Ada was a January ago, 1 year January.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's been that. Why do I feel like I've seen you in between, though?
I know. I was thinking the same thing. I don't know.
Where did
we're
we
going to get to see each other this weekend. Of course, what we're talking about is the American Equestrian Trade Association that we've done since we started this show. We want to thank them for continuing to invite us out. It's a lot of fun for us to go see the new products that are coming to market. And we get to ask this question every time, and I hate to disappoint everybody, but this is not an open to the public show. This is a trade show where the wholesalers meet the retailers. So we're invited as the radio network for the American Equestrian Trade Association. And we'll be doing a bunch of interviews like we always do every year about new products. And then Helena's joining me Monday morning for Horses in the Morning live at 9 a.m. And just go to horsesinthemorning.com and you can listen to that, or we'll put it out. Also, that same show will go out on the Stable Scoop feed next week. So you'll get to hear it either way. However, if you want something really cool, if you want to see Helena's gorgeous face, then you have to get Periscope on your phone. Download the app Periscope. It's a live video app, and it's pretty cool. And when you get into Periscope, like Horse Radio Network, and we are going to be Periscoping all weekend, doing live video all weekend from the show. And Jennifer is going to Periscope the whole entire Horses in the Morning show on Monday mornings. So you actually get to see the products too.
That's like real live TV.
Isn't it
but
cool?
It's not TV. It's a real live webcast.
It is. It is really cool. And Periscope makes it so easy, and you can follow along so well.
What are we going to call it? I mean, obviously it's Periscope. Is it a Scopecast? A Pericast?
They do have names. I'll have to look them up what they're calling them now. There's a couple people really getting into Periscope. I don't know if they're calling it scoping or what they're calling it. But
if there was like a generic name, so for, like we were talking about last week, when we first started broadcasting video over the internet, they were called webcasts.
Right.
Then it became podcasts, which is just really audio.
And then webcasts were in there somewhere.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
webcast. We started with webcast, which I guess includes video, right?
Yep.
And then, but so really now it's just video, online video.
Yeah, and this is live streaming video.
So then that's actually more like a webcast.
And the thing is, it used to be hard to do live streaming video, but now with this app on your phone, you just hit play and that's it. It just pops up and people can come in and watch and tap on the little screen and give us little hearts. They give us hearts.
See, I want to know what this is. Is this a netcast? What do you call it? Periscope?
Everybody just says I'm periscoping.
I need to give it a name because
All right, while you're doing
That's how
that, while
freakish
you're
I
giving
am.
it a name, and then next week we're going to be heading up to your house. So we're excited about that, coming up to visit you.
We're going to have fun.
We are going to have fun. We're going to go over to Newport, do tour the mansions. Jennifer and I did that on our honeymoon. We went to Newport, Rhode Island, and toured the mansions 28 years ago. So this will be our first time back touring the mansions since then. And of course, you can go see them every day and see something different.
You can actually. There are a bunch of them, and then there's the cliff walk, which is fun. You can see their backyards and stuff.
It's so cool.
I've only been to 2, and both of them were just awesome. They're really cool. You can do like the little headsets, and walk around can. But I don't like that. I feel like it detracts from my
She doesn't
own
want to
senses.
be educated. She just wants to look.
I like to. I look and then I wonder, and then I come back home and I Google everything and I look it up, or I read about it. Heaven forbid we should read. But I find that the little somebody speaking into your ears, like it conflicts with my own senses, like my eyes and my ears and my sense of touch. But you're right. You could go back 100 times and see something new every day.
And it is, we're going to kind of miss this next week because of the timing, but it is coaching week and next weekend at Newport, where all the super wealthy people get together with their big coaches and their horses, and they show off all of their finery and have a good time with fancy parties that I wouldn't be able to afford the clothes for. So
yeah, well, I looked into what it would cost to go, and
it's not cheap.
No. And I'm one for digging into my pockets for a fancy gala.
Yeah.
Especially if it has to do with horses, but no, I can't.
That ain't happening. So we're just going to go like tourists. How about that? We'll go like tourists. And we'll check that out. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm just looking forward. I've never been to Little Compton. Jennifer has, but I have not. I've not seen your farm yet in all these years. So
You haven't. I know. I hope you enjoy it and have a lovely time here.
Yeah. That'd be good. I'll be in New England without going to Massachusetts. It's perfect.
Yeah, you and Massachusetts don't get along very well.
No. Sorry, Massachusetts. We just don't get along. All right, let's do this. Let's head off to our first guest. We are going to start with our monthly training tip with Adam Tarpley from Tarpley Performance Horses in Merkel, Texas.
Merkel, I like that name.
Hello, folks. Uncle Jimmy here, and welcome to the world of Uncle Jimmy brand products, where funny names mean serious products. Featuring Uncle Jimmy's Squeezy Buns, the squeezably soft hand treat that your horse will love. The award-winning Uncle Jimmy's Hangin' Balls. Uncle Jimmy's Sugar-Free Ball. The incredible Licky Thing, also in sugar-free. The amazing Uncle Jimmy's Pecker-Wrecker. And the Big Licky. The infamous Uncle Jimmy Hangin' Ball was first designed by me for my own horses to help reduce the bad habits which come from stall boredom. It now can be found around the world. This nutritious, flavored, filled boredom buster will help keep your horses occupied and happy around the clock. Properly hung, it will last for weeks, provided you don't let your horse pin it, and Uncle Jimmy knows who you are. The ball comes in 4 flavors: apple, carrot, peppermint, molasses, and now sugar-free. Once again, welcome to the world of Uncle Jimmy's brand products, where funny names mean serious products, and satisfaction is 100% guaranteed.
Well, Helene, as I said, we have Adam Tarpley on with us. I met Adam and his lovely wife at Road to the Horse. We spent a couple road to the horses together, didn't we, Adam?
Sure. Yes, we sure have.
And Adam competed 2 years ago at Road to the Horse as a wild card competitor, so we got to watch him down in the ring. And tell us a little about Tarpley Performance Horses.
Well, we mostly specialize in 30, 60, 90-day foundation work. We raise a few well-bred kind of rein cow horse type of horses, but then most of our clients are foundation colt starts and just foundation work.
Do you do English and Western?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We cover all disciplines. We're not discipline specific or event specific. We've had some cow horses, some ranch horses, some barrel horses. We've had some go into the mounted shooting stuff, and had a couple of Mustangs in, and we don't discriminate any. We just bring whatever needs to work. When you lay down a good foundation, that really sets them up to go into any genre and any event that you want to do. They've got to have a foundation before they can do anything else.
So when you get a
that's
horse
really what we
in,
look at.
when you get a horse in for the first time, what's your process for getting to size him or her up and giving him or her a chance to get to figure you out? What's that first introductory time like for you guys?
We go into the round pen, and I don't do a lot of driving around. I don't chase them around until they face up. We just kind of figure each other out, and I've got my groundwork that I go through, and it's a little different from some people's that we've rode and learned, me and my wife both, from a lot of different people over the years. So we just take bits and pieces of everybody's stuff that we've learned and just fill them out. Not a ton of pressure, but see how much respect we have. See if they'll give to a halter, if they'll follow their nose, if their feet will follow their nose. If I give them a direction, are they going to follow it, or are they just going to push through the pressure and run into the pressure that I'm putting on them and go the opposite direction? And that really tells me a lot right there. Just asking them to move around and follow their nose and to go somewhere. Will they let me have their nose? And when I ask them to move, will they move? And will they move off quietly and calmly, or will they bounce around like a BB in a tin can? And then take me skiing, and then we just adjust the program from there.
So you get them in, you put them in the round pen, and you figure each other out.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. There's just a lot of feel. That's the hardest thing to teach is feel. You can preach to someone all day long and tell them how to do it, but there's so much feel that goes on with a horse that you just have to learn it. And one way to learn it is to get in there and screw up.
Yeah, and it becomes when you do it so much like you do, it becomes such it becomes intuitive. You can't stop yourself at any point in the process and say, "Oh, I just did X, Y, and Z." It's like a song that's playing in your body and in your mind, and the horse is hearing it. It's
yes, ma'am, very, very much, very much. They're just like reading people. Y'all have to get on there and talk to people, and whether you've talked to them before or not, you feel them out pretty quick just by the tone of the voice and how they're talking or not, and whether y'all need to interject and get a little more life out of whoever's on the other end of the line with y'all. And it's the same thing, only it's face to face and in person with these horses, but it's just like reading people.
Hey, he just described our whole job in one sentence.
Yeah, it's true. It's just like reading people.
I think he's trying to take our job, Helena. I think
Good.
I
Adam,
don't know about that. That's a pretty big shoe to fill.
Adam, now your wife, Shorty, was she an English rider? Do I remember her doing jumpers or something?
Yes. She's rode hunters and jumpers and hunter under saddles, and she's done a little bit of everything.
Now, is her real name Shorty?
No, but that's about all she'll answer to.
No, I mean, I don't even know. I don't think anybody knows what her real name is. She probably hasn't even told you.
She keeps it under lock and key.
Smart girl.
I have to tell you, Helena, a quick story. When I was heading to Road to the Horse 2 years ago, I flew up, and I ended up sitting beside this lady, and we got talking, and she said, "Oh, I'm going to Road to the Horse too." And we ended up talking the whole way up there, and it turned out then I saw her at Road to the Horse, and it was Shorty's mom, who lives in Florida. We flew up together. And then when I got on the plane to come home from Road to the Horse that year, I get in the plane and I sit down, and who comes and sits down beside me but Shorty's mom. So we flew home together too. So it's a small world.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know y'all were on the plane. I know y'all flew on the same plane back home, but I didn't know that.
We sat together the whole way. Yeah,
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, no, I had quality time with your mother-in-law. So.
Oh, wonderful! She's a lot of fun, isn't she?
Oh, she's a trip. She's a real estate agent, or was it real estate or insurance? I forget now.
No, she's a estate planner.
That's right. For the senior citizens down at the villages. That's what I remember. Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
She'd be great at that. Well, Adam, what are we talking about this month for our training tip?
Well, I was wanting to talk about the importance of getting horses outside and get them out of the round pen and get them out of the arena and just traveling. A lot of people that I've talked to say, I just want a good, quiet, calm, like just a good ranch horse. That's the way I want my horse to be. And the only way those horses are made is they get outside in their road. They don't just lope around in a circle for 20, 30 minutes in the arena and then get put away. So much can be done just not training on a horse, but just traveling. I bring these young horses in, and some of them have been started, some of them haven't. But usually the ones that have been started and are needing some kind of fix, something went wrong in their past or in their training in the past, and the best solution for them is to just get out of their head and get out of their face and just go travel. And I'll just take them to the pasture and we'll just go trot, and we may trot for an hour and a half, just through the trees and across the creeks and through the draws, and just go out and travel and let them be a horse. It's amazing what it does to their brain. Those that need help, it kind of resets them, and those that don't need help, it teaches them how to be efficient, because they're having to learn how to carry all that new weight on them, as a young horse. And they just get more balanced and mentally collected and calm, and that's the only way. That's the only way to get an all-around horse, to me, is to just get that quiet calmness where they just give it to you. Anytime you ask, they're just like, okay, I'm good. We can trot, and I'm going to be efficient because I don't know how long we're going to be here. I don't know how far we're going.
I think it applies to the rider too, right, Helena? I mean, Helena's a fox hunter, so, getting out on the trail, getting out, in the field. In your case, boy, if you can ride that, you can certainly ride anything in the ring.
Well, let's back it up.
I
for a
meant
minute
safely
there.
in the ring, and not,
No. Well, this is I would love to have Adam work with my horse, because you would think that would be the case. First of all, I haven't been out hunting in quite a long time at this point. And so I've been doing a lot of trail riding. And yes, the more we're out there, the longer we're out there, the more efficient and responsive he gets, and more focused, interestingly. But what I find, though, is that my particular horse likes to be out and about so much that it's hard for me to get him focused in the ring. He's actually much more easier to school when we're outside on the trail than he is in a ring. He's safe in a ring for the most part, but so do you ever see that happening? Like where they'd much rather be out on some kind of adventure than putting their brains to work in circles?
Yes. Actually, the wild card horse that I brought up there, my big bay, we call him Big Country, but the one I competed on there, he's very much that way. I'm stumbling over my words. He loves to just go travel and see new country and just go. He's not an impulsive horse, but he likes to have a job. So for me to just go in the arena and just lope circles, he goes, why? What's the point? So I giving those horses a job and mentally stimulating them is the best solution for that. I have to give him a reason, not just because I said so. So I have to keep it his program and his training. I really have to keep him mentally engaged, not just loping mundane circles. If we're not going and traveling through the pasture, so he's got some stimulus, trees and creeks or bushes, or gathered cattle or something like that, to keep him stimulated instead of just this perfectly manicured arena, then I have to challenge him physically, and not just loping faster, but asking for collection or half passes for a longer amount of time and stuff like that. So I have to challenge him that way, but as long as his brain is still under control and collected.
So do you think that fun little gymnastic exercises in the arena is a good way to keep their brain stimulated while you are surrounded by walls?
Oh, very much. Very, very much so, yes. Even these young horses that are looking around, and I'll challenge them in short amounts of time, and then let them go free. And them, whenever I let them go, and what I mean by let them go, whenever I ask them to collect and things like that, and then let them relax and travel, that's their relaxation. That's their time that they get to just travel and not have to be put to work. And then they go to spooking and looking at a sign or looking outside. And I want to go over here. I want to go there. I say, well, that's fine. If you have all that energy, then we'll just go back to work for a little while.
Mm.
And I don't go faster. I don't crowd them. I just pick them up and say, well, it's a lot easier to just lope around and go quietly than it is to, trot at a half pass or lope a half pass or just go sideways down the fence or, wherever the horse is at. That answer your question, I think?
110%. I wish you weren't in Texas. I wish you were up here in New England.
Before we run out of time, there's another side to this too. And, we talked about this on the show a couple of weeks ago as Gracie actually, Helena's daughter's 11 or 12 now, and she just got out of the ring and did her first trail ride, which I think has changed over the years because when Jennifer was growing up, 100 years ago, don't tell her I said that, you didn't have rings. They just rode their horses wherever. They were riding them through town. They would ride them everywhere. It's kind of the same probably for everybody that grew up in that generation in Texas. Now it's changed because you're taking lessons in a ring when you first get started. And so it's exact opposite. You're actually in the ring first and then out on the trails. So it also applies to people too, what you're talking about.
Yes, very much. It builds a better seat. Whenever you're going down the trail or trotting through the pasture, you're having to turn your body and move with the horse, and you're more focused on where you want to go, because if you don't have a focus, then you're just going to run into a tree. So if you're not turning your body and saying, let's go this way, then the horse isn't going to follow you. And in the ring, it takes twice as much focus, because unless you have barrels and cones and things like that, but just an open arena, then it takes twice as much focus to get your horse to go with you where you want him to go, as far as just moving off of your body and paying attention to where you want to go. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Because
yes.
when you're going down the trail through the pasture, I mean, you're gonna twist your body, you're gonna turn, you're gonna move with the horse more, because you're looking at the trees, you're looking at the trail, which direction it's turning and twisting and
up and down too. I mean, which is something you don't have in the ring.
Yes, very much,
yeah.
very much. Makes you such a better rider.
Yeah. Well, very good. Thank you, Adam, for this. Where can people find you?
At TarpleyPerformanceHorses.com.
That's TARPLEY, performancehorses.com, and he's out of Texas, but I know you do a lot of work for people all over the place. So if you want to get in touch with him, just head over to TarpleyPerformanceHorses.com. This week's EasySignsOnline.com spotlight product is their New England Style Farm Signs, their most popular line of signs. New England Style Farm Signs are very durable and designed for long-term outdoor use with no maintenance required, no wood to rot, and no paint to peel. They will outlast the old style painted wood signs by many, many years. They are available in many sizes, shapes, and styles, which makes them the perfect sign for any farm or business. Go online today and go through the EasySignsOnline.com easy step-by-step ordering process to see all the prices and options available. They also offer free, no-obligation sign proofs on all New England-style signs, and you get free shipping as well on all New England-style signs. So replace your old worn-out sign and make a great first impression with a new farm sign from EasySignsOnline.com. Visit EasySignsOnline.com. Well, next up we have Dr. Michael Stone, who is the Belgian Draft Horse Board of Directors president, and we are having him on. He's from the Belgian Corporation, which is kind of the registry for the Belgians here in the United States. Good morning, Dr. Stone.
Hey, good morning, Glenn.
Thank you so much for joining us today. You know, Helene and I had the fun privilege of attending the World Percheron Congress up at the Big E last year, and we had a blast. And I've owned Percherons in the past, so I'm partial to draft horses. And we've never done really a breed highlight on the Belgian. So tell us a little bit about the history of the Belgian.
The Belgian draft horse actually was imported. The first ones were imported in and got organized as in about 1887, and they started in Wabash, Indiana, with the Importers Association with J.D. Connor, and that's when we started being recognized as a specific breed here in the United States. And now we transitioned to the Belgian Draft Horse Corporation of America, and that's where we house the database for the registry.
Why was it not like, you know, like all of the others are associations? Why was it a corporation and not, you know, an association?
That's a really, really good question. I kind of believe that a little bit. J.D. Connor, who was the founding person, was a lawyer. And I got to believe that he was, his major concern was preserving the integrity of the horse. And my guess, he felt probably that from used to the legalities of stuff, that it would be the easiest way would be to form a corporation. Is probably how it started.
Okay, cool. But it acts though kind of like the Morgan Breed Association and all of those, right? I mean, it kind of acts as that same registry. Okay.
It's exactly like that. What's interesting is I attend the National Pedigree Livestock Council, and all of the different breed registries come together, you know, Angus and Hereford and Quarter Horse. And I don't care what the size of the organization is and how many animals you have in your registry. They all deal with the same issues, the same problems, and the same things that are happening. It's very, very interesting.
So what do you spend most of your time focusing on when you have meetings of your organization? How often do you get together, and then what typically comes across your desk? What are you discussing these days about Belgians?
I would say we specifically meet at least twice a year. That we meet physically to see each other. There's 9 of us directors, and the other times we're having maybe phone conferences or different things. But the major things that we're addressing is first and foremost is the integrity of the database, and making sure that we're doing the proper checks and balances to make sure that, you know, the signatures are signed. If there's any questions, if the staff in the office have any concerns or questions, or there needs to be something done outside of the rules, that all has to be agreed upon by the board of directors as an appeal. So part of our meeting together is what we call an appeal process, where individuals will, let's say somebody just accidentally canceled a registration paper. Well, the office doesn't have the authority just reenact that again. That has to be an action by the board and stuff. So most of our time is spent with that. The other part of it is that we get kind of pulled into is promotion of the horse and stuff. And, you know, a lot of us, our 9 directors, were very passionate about the horse, and I guess trying to instill that passion and that love in other people and stuff by, you know, different contests, exposure, taking them to events. The Belgian draft horse is tremendously diverse in that it does the show portion, it does the farming, it does the pulls, it does the riding. I think we're pretty fortunate that we have a horse that is as diverse as what it is.
And it really
is a farm horse, a country farm horse.
Yeah, you go to
all
Lancaster
around.
County, Pennsylvania, where I grew up, and you're going to see those Amishmen out there with Belgians. I mean, yeah.
There. You know, a lot of people when you say Belgian, the first thing that they conjure up in your mind is, you know, that horse that you see as you're driving Amish country that says that you see out there. But the horse actually does look. I mean, you get into the show ring, and some of the very elite athletes are much more slender, taller, have a lot more animation. Then you go to the pulling ring, and those horses are probably half the height but twice as wide. And again, it's kind of interesting. The board gets asked many times, like, we need a breed standard. How do we know how to make this horse if the board doesn't give us some direction in a breed standard? And my response is you will never probably see the board that I see right now giving out a breed standard because it's such a diverse animal. And I really believe that probably the breeders and the users of the horse should really be dictating what it should look like and how it works and stuff. Probably not coming from a committee of 9.
It was interesting because I asked an Amishman once, I said, why do you use the Belgians rather than the Percherons or some of the other draft breeds, the Shires and that kind of thing? And his answer was because they're shorter. They tend to be that shorter, draftier, stockier horse. And for them, when they're putting on the harness every day and working with those horses every day, they don't want the 18-hand ones. They want the 16-hand ones that can do the work of the 18-hand ones, And so that's what he said. And it made sense that if you're going to have a working horse that's going to be out there plowing, that you don't want to deal with the 18-hand ones all the time,
Right.
In the show ring, it's a little different. The biggest horse I've ever seen in my life was at the Pennsylvania Draft Horse Sale, where I bought a couple of my Percherons, and they had a Belgian there that was 19.3 hands, and that was the biggest darn stallion I've ever seen in my life. It was scary big.
We need to get you converted, Glenn. You know that?
I'm a black horse guy, though. See, that's the problem. You start making those Belgians in black, and I'll be interested. But
oh God!
Now you do all different kinds of showing. There's a couple very popular Belgian hitches around that do the fairs and the expos, and of course you go to some of these fairs and expos, especially like the Pennsylvania Farm Show. You'll see a lot more Belgian hitches than you do any of the other breeds. Is there a reason why they're more popular right now for the guys who are out there showing in the wagons?
The numbers of the Belgian horse have always been quite a bit higher than the other draft breeds. Again, I think just because of the diversity and stuff. I know from my standpoint, I've worked with Clydesdales, being a veterinarian and stuff, and I've worked with Percherons, and Belgians are tough horses. They take the stress of traveling a lot easier. They're much easier to keep them going and pushing them through those shows and stuff that are happening. But I would say a lot of people that are showing draft horses and stuff, a lot of it is some of it is the love for the horse, but also it's a social thing. And so you don't want to be spending all your time doctoring and caring for horses. You really do want to have some time to have some fun. So maybe the Belgian kind of helps you. Doesn't consume as much of that busy time, and you can have a little more time to socialize with your friends.
I will say this, that when we had our Percherons, we did have feet problems with them. We constantly had abscess problems, and I heard that's, when you get into the bigger 18-plus hand horses like we had, that they do run into those issues. And I have heard that about the Belgians, is you tend to have less, on an average, you tend to have less of those kind of problems.
When those big horses, you get a 2,000-pound horse, those feet are really critical. I mean, you just look at the numbers and put the amount of pressure that's being borne on that foot. They're very sensitive to fevers and temperature and stresses and stuff. And boy, if that foot goes bad on you, it's very, very rough road for the horse.
Are there?
And, I think that's been a really important part of the Belgian breed. I think we have a lot of traditional breeders and really strong breeders that have instilled in a lot of us newcomers and stuff the importance of that underpinning. A horse is pretty, and you like to look at its head and its face and stuff, and that is an important part. But you really want to look at the undercarriage of the horse and making sure the foot is put together properly, the leg is there, because if you don't have it, you don't have a horse. And that's been instilled pretty heavily in the Belgian breeders.
So, this is going to sound like a really dumb question, but I'm due for one. Do we import any horses from Belgium anymore, or do we pretty much have a closed system within the United States of lines, breeding lines?
Yeah. That's not a dumb question. That's a really interesting point, because the Belgian registry where we came from in the United States is in Belgium and is still existing. But that horse does not look anything like our horse here. The horse that the original Belgian registry has in Belgium right now is what we would call here in the States a Brabant. And you will see the Brabants. There's numerous breeders in the United States that still maintain that look. Those horses are also in our registry. The Brabant is a true Belgian, but it's the old style horse. It's a very heavy boned, the coloring is not as red and bright as what the Belgian is here in the States. It's more of a grayer, blacker type looking horse and stuff. Now in Belgium, so we do see some Brabants being imported into the States. There is another registry in Belgium as well. It's a younger registry that's probably about 6 or 7 years old, and they are actually taking our horses back over there. We've exported quite a few horses back to Belgium, and they're being used in that newer registry. We're also seeing some of those horses go into Germany as well, and in that area. So it's actually, I would say right now, there probably have more horses leaving the country than we have coming in.
Oh, wow.
That's probably the only
We're
breeds that
exporting
happens,
horses.
right?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, yeah, it's one of the times we're bigger and,
The rest of the
supersizing
time-
it works for us.
Right. Our dressage riders and jumpers
Yeah.
are always over there finding horses. So
Yeah. You know, when we went over there originally in the early 1800s and stuff, we were taking, I think, most of their. We were looking for the lighter boned horse, the show, that kind of horse, and they were keeping the heavier boned horses there, the sturdy ones, and they were also a dual purpose horse too, as a meat horse. I mean, that's something that's frowned upon here in the States and stuff, but still is a viable commodity in other countries.
So now you guys have been around. You're one of the probably oldest registries here in the United States, and I know that Belgians obviously in the early 1900s were very popular for the milk wagons and all that. They were the pickup trucks of the time, right? And the small trucks of the time. And then a lot of these horses during World War I were shipped over there and never came home. And then they kind of had, all of these draft breeds kind of died out a little bit and then had a resurgence. What do you look to as the reasons for the resurgence in the recent years? And when I say that, I mean the last 40 years.
I think the resurgence came, I think, with I think there was some really good times and more disposable income, and you look at any of the horses that surged. I mean, they all surged in that time period, and a lot of them were using them for some tax advantages and different things, and some of those loopholes were closed up, and I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with disposable income and enjoyment, and I know in getting back to some of those things that their grandparents had, and I don't know, there's something about a horse. It just grabs your soul at times. Myself, my first Belgian, I just had a love for Belgians, and I'm probably one of the fewer on the board that, my great-grandparents, my grandparents, my parents didn't have Belgians. I'm a first-generation Belgian owner, and my first horse actually came out of Kelly's Island, an island out here in the middle of Lake Erie, and that was probably back in early 1980s, and holy cow, I guess got addicted, and now today I probably have around 35 head, and it can really grab you. There's something about being around a horse that's just calming, I guess, or just kind of gets you back to the basics.
Well, now you said I said, well, how many do you have? Because sometimes when we ask that question, we get an answer like 50, and that we weren't expecting. So,
but you notice we don't say, "Do you have one?" We say, "How many?"
How many?
Yeah.
Nobody has one.
We have around 35 head right now.
Oh, see, there you go. Do you know how many bales of hay that is, Helena, every day? 35 head of Belgian. Oh my God.
it's not the hay; it's also what comes out the other end. You know,
Yeah,
you could deal with.
That's exactly right.
That's true.
That's exactly right. And do they tend to be easy keepers in terms of diet? The
Yeah.
bigger horses tend
You know,
to be.
that's the thing. Well, I think the instinct is that these big horses are just going to eat you out of house and home, but they're actually a cold-blooded. I mean, they have a very slow metabolism, with a heart rate of, 40 to 50. So they really don't consume as much. They're pretty easy keepers. I think the hardest part for a person that's going from light horses to heavy horses is to understand how big a stall and how rough they are on things. I mean, they go up to lean up against the gate to scratch, and it's like the gate's bent in two. So it's, I think they don't really quite realize how big and strong they are.
Yeah, they used to take our barn apart. It's like, and
yeah.
they didn't try to, but you have that hoof, kicking a wall for some reason. That board's coming out. So,
yeah.
Well, this has been fun. You have an event coming up. We were at the World Percheron Congress, but you also have a version of that's coming up as well.
Yeah, we have what we call the North American Belgian Championship. This will actually be the 8th one. It's kind of like our Olympics. It's held every 4 years, and we alternate between the United States and Canada. And in 2008, it was in Indianapolis, and in 2012, it was up in Manitoba, Canada, and in 2016, we will be in Springfield, Massachusetts, at the Big E facility.
Oh, same place we were for the Percherons.
Yep.
Yep, exact same place. We'll be there between, I believe it's October 11th to the 16th, 11th to the 15th. And at that point, at that show, we'll have Belgian horses from all over North America, from Canada and the United States. And there'll be a pulling event. There will be the farming events. There will be harness events. There'll be halter events, riding events, and we're going to do some barrel racing and everything just to showcase the diversity of the Belgian horse to the public.
And how many do you usually get at an event like that?
We'll probably have around probably 600 head of horses at that event.
That's
that's awesome.
At 1,500 to 2,000 pounds each, that's a lot of poundage there.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And this is me being shallow and superficial, but whatever, that's me. I love when the Belgians get all dressed up. I have to say, of all the heavy breeds, they tend to get turned out the nicest.
You like blondes. You're just like blondes. That's what it is.
I like her. She's got the right idea.
When I was a kid, I have a book. I still have it. I'm looking at it on my shelf right now. The Best Loved Horses of the World, and in it was featured a Belgian, and the Belgian was all turned out for a parade, and they had red ribbons in his mane, and his tail was braided with straw or raffia, they call it. It was raffia, like a natural colored raffia and red ribbon. And ever since then, I'm looking for that one Belgian who's so perfectly turned out like he was in my book. It's a lot of fun. They wear their turnout well, don't they?
Yeah, they do. It is, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, you get them dressed up, and it's interesting too. Like the horses love it. I mean, like my show horses that go with us, they love that idea. I mean, they love going out there and doing their thing and parading around. It takes us about to get 6 horses ready and looking good. It takes us about 2 hours.
That's
to
all?
get everything in place and stuff. Yep.
I thought it would take longer.
Well, we usually got about 4 or 5 people working at the same time. So
yeah, okay, there you go.
Yeah, because I was going to say
10 hours. Let's talk.
That's a lot of manes and tails to get ready.
Yeah.
And just not alone. Let's not even talk about cleaning that harness for 6 horses. Oh man.
Yeah, that's true too.
All right, so here's another question. You've got all these horses to get ready. They're obviously light colored. They're blonde horses. What is your go-to product for stain removal?
Oh gosh, go-to product for stain removal. I tell you, like those, like a Clorox, like hand wipe or something like that, actually works pretty good. Like a,
on your horse?
Like a little, just a little bit, just to clean up like a little spot on the knee or the hop, to kind of clean it up a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I tell you what, you go to the shows, everybody's got their little secret product, that they like to use and to touch up and dab up things, and it always amazes me. We spend a ton of time, dabbing all over everything, and you kind of wonder if anybody ever really sees all those little details. But we really like to make sure that everything looks good, and we don't want to blame ourselves for anything that would count us down. So they get pretty nice.
And you know what? I don't think it would matter if anybody sees it or not, because there's something. It's the joy in the process, right? It's
Yeah.
You have to you enjoy diving down into that level of detail, because that's what it's about.
And we had an opportunity to go on, I think it was an 8-horse hitch when we were at the World Percheron Congress. And let me tell you, there is nothing like sitting on that wagon with 8 thundering horses in front of you at a trot. It is really cool.
One of the things I've often said, too, is a big difference from the Belgian to the rest of them is, I think, like the Clydes and the Percherons and stuff, they're a little more light-footed, I guess, in their movement. When I always said that if you have a 6 of Belgians go by, you can feel them go by. I mean, they really have a very powerful gait. They don't just let their foot hit the ground; they kind of hammer it to the ground. And I've often said you can definitely feel a Belgian hitch go by a little more.
Oh, well, then now we're going to have to go to your show just so we can compare, Helena. We're going to have to go.
Exactly. You got to. Yep, exactly.
I'm not having a problem with that.
Do you have celebrity driving competition? Because Helena didn't get to do that, and I want to see her in the celebrity driving competition.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
Somebody's going to teach me how to drive a horse before I can go get on a...
No, that doesn't matter. You don't need to know how to drive. That's the funny part.
We'll just give you one of these. Yeah, we'll give you one of these that just drives itself pretty well.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I can deal with that.
Yeah, she just needs a remote control.
Exactly.
Push button. Well, this has been fun. It is BelgianCorp.com is where you can find all the information there, and I assume there'll be more information. And we'll definitely have you back on before next year when you have your when you have the event coming up, and we'll talk more about that. We saw a bunch of our listeners out at the last one, so maybe I'll talk to your PR people, and maybe we can arrange to come up and do a show from there. That would be fun.
Sounds great. Sounds really good.
That would be awesome.
All right. Sounds like fun. Well, thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me on.
Well, that was fun. I just love the draft horses. I really do. I've always been partial to ponies and drafts. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm not partial to the ones in between. It's just the little ones and the big ones. I've always been that way.
Oh.
Okay. I don't know why.
Well, you're a fringe kind of guy.
That's it.
You're a fringe kind of guy. An early adopter and all. Geek.
Hey, I do want to mention too that the listeners can be very proud. We've been getting a lot of love. I did an interview for a guy by the name of David Jackson, who runs the School of Podcasting, which is where people go to learn to podcast. He's been doing that since 2005. And I did an interview for him last week. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to it, but I have it posted on my Facebook page at Glenn the Geek, if you scroll down a little bit. And it's been getting very good reviews and kind of making a stir in the podcasting world. So, yeah, I've been getting a lot of response to it. And Dave said he's been getting a lot of response to it. And there's a lot more people in the world that know about horses now. I've had, I counted this morning, I've had 19 requests for interviews now. For different podcasts. Yes. I told them all, look, I got to get a Helena's first. I'll talk to you after. So I got priorities. Taking time off is my priority. So
yes, sir.
Yeah, but I was flattered about that, and everybody should be very proud. The horse world's getting a little love outside the horse world right now, and it's all thanks to our listeners and our hosts. And I'm going to tell everybody, too, what day of the week is this?
Today?
Yeah, we're recording on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Everybody should take a look at 2 things. Horsehubby.com. I don't know if you saw that, Helena. But if you
saw your announcement, but I didn't actually get in there.
Yeah, if you go to horsehubby.com, you're going to see that my friend Timothy, who is Elisa Wallace's husband, who does this, who is the eventer and the Mustang trainer, did an article called Glenn the Geek, America's Horse Husband, and it was a very good article. He was very kind. And he and I are going to be starting a episode of Horses in the Morning every month called the Horse Husbands episode. And that's going to start in September, and it's going to be only guys. So we are going to do a episode of Horse Husband or of Horses in the Morning every month, like we do with some of the others, the CHA and stuff. Only it's just going to be him and I, and it's only going to be horse husbands. We're going to have no women that are going to be allowed on that episode. So it should be interesting to see how that goes. We're going to actually not do that one live because he has a real job. So we're going to record it in the evening when we can have alcohol. So that's...
Because that makes men
we're
talk.
We're going to all hang out in our man
about
caves
things.
and we're going to chat. So
All
that's what we're going to do there. He's a super nice guy and a good writer. If you have not read some of his stuff about being a horse husband, I love his titles too. Camera in one hand, a lead rope in the other, excitement and intrigue, smells like victory. I mean, he just is your wife's horse raiding your closet. I mean, he just has some great fun stuff on here. He's a good writer. I really like what he does. So we're looking forward to working with them and developing a relationship with them. You know, I've always wanted to do a horse husband thing, but I've always been waiting for just the right guy to do it with. And obviously this is the right guy.
Yeah.
The other thing too is if everybody watches Horse Nation tomorrow, including you, Helena, if you check out horsenation.com tomorrow, they're doing a feature article on the Horse Radio Network. So that's supposed to be coming out tomorrow too.
Horse Nation is?
Yep.
Okay.
So there'll be horsenation.com, a feature article on the Horse Radio Network tomorrow. So we're getting a little love around the world, and it's
awesome.
We're looking forward to meeting all of our friends at Ada this weekend and hanging out there and having some fun. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys.
Oh, man, am I looking forward to seeing you.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So remember, Periscope, download it to your phone, search for Horse Radio Network. That's about what I know about Periscope. I do know it's tied to your Twitter account, and when we start Periscoping, there's a tweet that goes out and says that we're Periscoping. That's what lets you know to tune in. So that's kind of how it works.
I got to make some room on my phone. I'm out of space. Is that even possible?
Yeah, you need to download some of your 1,000 pictures to your computer is what you need to do.
I don't have all those pictures on my phone.
Oh, I don't know what you're doing then. I have no idea.
It's music. Music ruined it. I downloaded my iTunes library to my phone. And
that'll do it. That'll do it. All right, Lena, we'll see you. First of all, give out your websites.
Okay. We've got two that are important to me besides the Horse Radio Network. If you're interested in fashion, lifestyle, and the ponderings of what it is to be a woman in today's world, go to flirtingwiththeworld.com. And if you need any marketing help, which is really my bread and butter, you can visit us online at sparkleandboom.com. If you have a small business and you need some help, whatever it may be, websites, logo design, graphic stuff, writing, sparkleandboom.com can help you.
She's really good, people. She's really good at that. You're really good at that. I sent her something in an emergency this week. We needed a poster done, and I suck at graphics, and she just fixed it up in minutes. I don't know what you did, but it sure heck looked a lot better when you were done than when I did it. So thank you.
It's magic.
I know it is. It must be because I can't do it. So you're the magician. So if you ever need graphics or websites too, I mean, ours are at the point where they almost need redone again. Websites need redone every 3 or 4 years. They have like a style, and ours are starting to look 1990s.
It's true. Yeah. You need to, they stay in style a little bit longer than jeans do, than a stylish.
I've been wearing the same jeans for 30 years.
Horse husband jeans.
That's right. Wranglers. What? Are there any other kind than Wranglers?
You need to talk to Buck about that.
Oh, did you fix him up? You've helped him improve his style. Is he wearing skinny jeans now?
He's not wearing skinny jeans, but we did, we went shopping and made a couple of recommendations. He follows Flirting with the World religiously. And I did give him some style tips when we went to some special occasion events recently. And at both events, he was approached by 2 different people. So that's 4 separate occasions. He was approached by a 30-something and under who commented at how great his clothes were.
He got
how
hit
stylish
on?
he was. No, well, 2 are by guys.
Oh.
Just saying, like, dude, where'd you get that stuff? My girlfriend's always trying to get me to do this and do that. And yeah, he played it cool, but he was like, did you see that? Did you see that? So you might want to start thinking about, updating your jeans there, horse hubby.
Oh, no, I'm not going to change now. Remind me not to go shopping at King of Prussia with you over the weekend, okay? At the mall. All right. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you being here, and we'll talk to you next week with a whole bunch of products from the American Equestrian Trade Association, the new stuff.
Products and fun and silliness, and we love it's always fun when the whole gang gets together. So make sure you mark it on your calendars when we're periscopic casting.
Yeah,
We're
whatever
live
that is.
We're live streaming.
All right, say goodbye, Helena.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a happy week and happy scooping.